Hello all, this is a video I wanted to post because I didn't find any or almost no information about this product on the web. So I wanted to give some good feedback for this particular product. What I'm talking about is Thompson's Water Seal Timber Oil. This color is teak. It's classified as a transparent stain for decks and outdoor wood. And as you look around at my deck, turned out pretty good. This is wood that's approximately 1 year old, and of course it was dry when I put it on. Very thirsty wood, soaked up the oil very well, and there is some variation in color, which of course is due to the wood grain itself. But regarding the product, I didn't find anything except there's one video someone had posted, and they had a pretty negative experience with theirs. It had been sticky at places, irregular uptake, and a few other had claimed that the product itself had turned black. And I think there's some pretty reasonable reasons for this. Mine is dark, but it is not black. It's been opened 3 times, and I'm getting ready to put the second, and for at least this year, final coat on the deck itself. This timber oil is an oil-based stain, so it's different than what is sold in the majority of stores today, which is a latex-based product, more comparable to a latex-based paint. This is an oil-based paint, and it literally penetrates the wood and carries the stain with that through what's called the VOCs, the volatile organic compounds, which everyone is all freaked out because of FDA regulations. So this penetrates the wood. If you stain this and you put too much on it, it can puddle. If you put more than what the wood will soak up, it will puddle. And if you don't wipe that off, it will become sticky as the VOCs evaporate and leave the resin and oils on the surface of the wood. So just like in staining any wood product with a quality oil stain, which is clearly my preference as a woodworker, you have to be careful and use your head. Of course, one, you can't put it on when the wood is wet. It has to be dry sufficiently. This has been dry for at least 5 days in pretty good heat. You have to put it on, and I used a pad. You have to put it on when the wood is not hot, otherwise you'll lose the VOCs and the oils may not have time to penetrate the wood itself. So it needs to be a cool morning, and just like with painting, you want to be sure that you keep a wet edge so you don't have irregular absorption and lap marks, and I avoided that in this case scenario. I'll be starting the second coat in a few moments. If I were to wait, say, another hour or so, I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it today because the wood would have gotten too hot and the stain may not have time to penetrate. If you put it on and let it sit, I usually let mine sit 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Some people do a little bit longer. Don't do that in the heat any longer than that. But if you have pooling stain at that point, be sure you come back and you wipe that off. Otherwise, that will dry and cause stickiness. I'm pretty pleased with the color. This is pretty easy to put on. As with any wood product, there's going to be variations, especially when it is stained. Now, this is different. This is transparent. This is an oil-based finish. So, Consumer Reports, which I'm a huge fan of, has not given good ratings traditionally to this type of product because it is not an opaque product. So you put an opaque product, you're basically painting the deck and you're obscuring the wood grain, which I don't really care for. They do last longer, several years, in fact, according to their testing. The downside to this type of product is that I will almost certainly be repeating this coating process next year. At least on the flat surfaces, maybe not on the upright surfaces. They do tend to wear a little bit better, but it's a drawback that I'm more than happy with. I'm willing to do. It's not that hard. This deck is a 16 by 24 deck, and it took me about 3 hours to apply this, using the brush to get between the boards and the pads to get the uprights and the flat surfaces. It still took a little bit of time, but it's not that big of a deal. I took the railings down just to simplify that, so I'm not staining around it. You want to catch all of your drips and runs and wipe those off and keep those from penetrating the wood and drying that way. Otherwise, you'll be able to see those. But all in all, I'm very pleased with the product. I've avoided, I think, all of the problems that the other poster had, and I have no hesitations recommending this product, with the caveat that you will be recoating it a lot sooner than you would with some of the opaque products from Behr or Olympic or some of the other manufacturers. So hope you have good luck with your project as I have.